Hello everyone, so in this video I am going to explain about the microapsis. So as the name suggests, micro means small and apsis means there is collection of the cells. So in this here it is microscopic small collection of cells. So this means that microapsis is a collection of the small cells. So microapsis is divided into two types. So it is divided into two types. First one is the neutrophil predominant microapsis, in which there is collection of the neutrophils predominantly. So first one is the neutrophil predominant, and the other one is the atypical T cell predominant. Atypical T cell predominant, in which the T cells were dominant. So first we are going to discuss about the neutrophilic predominant microapsis. So neutrophilic microapsis is also divided into three types. First one is the Monro microapsis. Other is the spongiform pustule of Kogoch. And the third one is the papillary tip microapsis. So what will happen in the Monro's microapsis? That Monro's microapsis is basically seen in the stratum corneum layer. It is seen in the stratum corneum layer, while the spongiform pustule of Kogoch is seen in the stratum spinosum. It is seen in the stratum spinosum layer. Please remember it that Monro's microapsis is seen in the stratum corneum, while the spongiform pustule of Kogoch is seen in the stratum spinosum layer, while the papillary tip means it is present at the tip of the dermal. So it is present at the tip of dermal papillae. So in the Monro's microapsis, as it is present at the stratum corneum layer, and the example of Monro's microapsis is it is seen in the psoriasis. Please remember it that it is seen in psoriasis. And the spongiform pustule of Kogoch is also seen in the psoriasis. While the difference is that in the Monro's microapsis, it is seen in the stratum corneum layer, which is the uppermost layer, while the spongiform is seen in the stratum spinosum. S for spongiform, S for spinosum, and these were both have the example common, that is psoriasis. Both these were seen in the psoriasis. While the papillary tip microapsis, it is present at the tip of dermal papillae, and for this we have example, that is dermatitis herpetiformis. It is seen in the dermatitis herpetiformis, and in this we see the subepidermal bullous. It is a dermatitis is a subepidermal bullous disorder. So it is a subepidermal bullous disorder. So here I am going to show you image. So as we see here that microapsis is a collection of the cells. So here we see a lot of cells were present. So it is a Monro microapsis, which is seen in the stratum corneum layer, while the spongiform pustule of Kogoch is also seen in the stratum spinosum. It is seen in the spinosum layer, while the Monro's is seen in the corneum layer, stratum corneum layer. So and the example of this is a psoriasis. In the psoriasis, we found the Monro's microapsis as well as spongiform pustule of Kogoch. Please remember it. It is a previous year question. Now, as we see here that these were the dermal papillae, and here we see the collection of the cells. So it is a papillary tip microapsis, and the example for this is dermatitis herpetiformis. Example of it is dermatitis herpetiformis. So this is a papillary tip microapsis. So these were the neutrophilic microapsis. Now next one is the atypical T cell predominant, in which the T cells were predominant, and for this we have to study the portrait microabscess. We have to study the portrait microabscess, which is seen in the mycosis fungoides, which is seen in the mycosis fungoides. So let's revise it separately. So in the atypical T cell microabscess, basically first point is that it is seen in the stratum spinosum layer. It is seen in the stratum spinosum layer. And in this we find the portrait microabscess. We see the portrait microabscess. And the portrait microabscess, the example is, it is seen in mycosis fungoides. It is seen in mycosis fungoides. And it is a most common, and one more important point, that mycosis fungoides, it is a most common cutaneous T cell lymphoma. It is most common cutaneous T cell lymphoma. So it is the most common cutaneous T cell lymphoma. And here, as we see here, so these were the portrait microabscess. These were the portrait microabscess. And in the mycosis fungoides, we see the portrait microabscess. And the other one, that one more is there, and that is the eosinophilic microabscess. As the name suggests, eosinophilic microabscess. In the eosinophilic microabscess, as the name suggests, lot of eosinophil cells were collected. So eosinophil cells were collected. As we all know that the eosinophils will appear as a red in color. So in this, the example of eosinophilic microabscess is, pemphigus vegetans. Please remember it, that it is seen in pemphigus vegetans. It is seen in pemphigus vegetans. And these were look like red in color, pinkish or red in color, pinkish or red in color. So as we see here in this image, we see that all these were the eosinophilic microabscess because they look like a red in color, means they were eosinophilic collection. So collection of cells were eosinophilic collection. So it is a eosinophilic microabscess. So it is a eosinophilic microabscess. While in the, this is a mycosis fungoides, in which we see the portrait microabscess. So how we remember that? We have to remember MP or PM as you like. So M, if I mycosis fungoides, M stands for mycosis fungoides. In the mycosis fungoides, we see the P stands for portrait microabscess. In the mycosis fungoides, we see portrait microabscess. While in the psoriasis, we see the M, that is Monro's microabscess. And as we know that Monro microabscess were seen in the stratum corneum layer. So this is a mnemonic for MP, that is mycosis fungoides is seen in the portrait microabscess, while the psoriasis we see the Monro's microabscess. So that's all about the microabscess. So I hope this video will give you some informations. So thank you. Bye bye guys.